come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. Now look at the person next to you and say, I recognize the God in you. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. We come together, we come together, we come together, we come together in the name of love. From every walk of life, every walk of life, every creed and color, and can should we unite in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. I feel the love in the sanctuary. Feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. 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 We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All this technological issues out of the way. Look at our new platform, guys. I am actually not taller. It's just we're up 8 inches, I believe. So welcome, everyone. Yeah. I want to welcome everyone to our service today. And I want to first start by lighting our candle, the Christ candle. And this represents the Christ consciousness in each and every one of us. I'd like to get started with our opening prayer. These words, if you'd like to close your eyes as you feel comfortable, you can keep them open, whatever. Divine Spirit, source of all wisdom and love, we open our hearts and minds to your presence within us. We know that your light shines in every soul, guiding us towards truth, peace, and understanding. As we gather in this sacred space, we awaken to the still, small voice within, the voice of wisdom, of clarity, and divine direction. May we trust this inner wisdom, knowing that it leads us to our highest good. May our thoughts be centered in love, our words be filled with kindness, and our actions reflect the light of Spirit in all we do. With gratitude, we affirm that all we seek is already within us, and so it is. Amen. All right, so we've got a great service today. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Will Tuttle. Let me read this quite impressive bio for him. A visionary writer, educator, pianist, and composer, author of international booksellers, The World Peace Diet, published in 17 languages, just in case you want to pick one up in a different language. And his new book, Food for Freedom, and the World Peace Way. He's a peace activist and vegan since 1980, recipient of the Courage of Conscience Award and the Empty Cage Prize, PhD from UC Berkeley, focusing on education and intuition. Has taught college courses in philosophy, humanities, and comparative religion. A former Zen monk and Dharma master in Korea Zen tradition. Co-founder of the Wide World Prayer Circle for Animals. Currently educating a music, art, and education ministry with his spouse, Madeline. Did I pronounce it right? Good. A visionary who's a visionary artist from Switzerland, specializing in painting, and I think we got a witness of some of those, that celebrates the beauty of animals and nature. Madeline is also a flutist, Waldorf teacher, vegan cook and coach, and organic gardener. We are so happy to have both of these well-esteemed people here. Thank you so much. And now it'll be time for him to come up and we get to get a sample of his music. As we always start with our first opening song, we certainly have a basket here, and if you feel so called to put in $1 or $2, and this helps serves those that we help out every week. We have multiple entities that we help out, but those that are food insecure is where the focus is this going. So you're on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know why this isn't on. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a piece called Dance for the Arctic Moon, and it's dedicated to the sacred feminine dimension of consciousness. And I'd just like to invite you, as you're listening, to let the music take you on a journey. Enjoy.
That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. We are so blessed this morning. I'd like to welcome everyone here. My name is Renee Dollar. I'm one of the 7 prayer chaplains that we have at Unity of Port Richey. And we'd like to welcome anyone here. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living, and we welcome anywhere where you're at on your path, no matter what is your background, what your source is. And we hope that when you walk in this door that you felt welcome. We'd like to see if there's anyone here for the first time. If you would be so kind to raise your hand. Oh my gosh, we got a couple. We got 3. That's great. Thank you so much. Thank you. I always like to say thank you for taking that initial step coming out, because sometimes that's the hardest. We have one over here. And in that packet, you'll find a little yellow card. And that yellow card in itself has something, if you'll just give us your information, and we will keep you posted for things that we do. Again, it is so great here to look and see. I love it when I see very few seats left. That is such a blessing for our church. I'd like, as we move forward, and welcome all our Facebook and YouTube guests. We have those that are filming. By the way, you are being filmed.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I have to remember, this isn't about me. Right? Okay. Well, the word today is awake. Are we awake? Yes. You listening? Good. I got you in good shape. We got in good shape. Thank you for that beautiful music, by the way. Well, the affirmation is, I am awake and fully present to life. Do we put that up there? Or? There it is. Let's all say it together. I am awake and fully present to life. Great. Awakening from sleep, I pause for a moment to feel the energy of the new day. Birds outside my window sing greetings. I am my still closed eyelids sense the morning light, letting go of the delicious relaxation of sleep. I stretch my limbs, open my eyes, and rise from my bed. Awake, fully present in mind, body, and soul to each activity of this day and to each person I meet. I feel truly connected. I engage fully with my daily work, study, prayer, and recreation. I notice details in my surroundings and see expressions of love and kindness I may have overlooked. Each moment becomes more vivid and meaningful. Nothing feels ordinary when I am awake. My life is a journey of discovery and appreciation. And from Mark, and what I say to you, I say to all, keep awake. Let's all say the affirmation again.
All right, so let's join together in our meditation time. Please feel free to turn your attention within. So that with every exhalation now, we allow ourselves to relax ever more deeply into this present moment. Entering more deeply into the heart of this moment, the only holy moment is right now. Breathing and relaxing into this moment, we give thanks for this precious opportunity to be together here in this sanctuary, knowing that this outer sanctuary is a manifestation of the inner sanctuary, where we dwell always in unity with the infinite love that is the source of our life and the source of all life. We give thanks for everyone who supports this ministry and for the whole web of life here on this earth. We give thanks for the beauty of this day, for all of the teachers in our life, and for all of the teachings of all the world's spiritual traditions that turn our minds away from the delusion of separateness to the truth of the infinite interconnectedness of all life. That what we are is infinite and eternal consciousness that was never born and will never die. We give thanks for the earth and all the living beings here, all the animals celebrating their lives in the air and in the waters and on land. The beauty of all of the ecosystems, the enormous intelligence pervading every aspect of life in the universe. And we give thanks also for this beautiful human family on the adventure of awakening to the truth that we are as manifestations of the infinite love, our source. We give thanks knowing that the light that shines at the heart of the universe is shining right now in our heart, bringing every dimension of our life into alignment with the abundance and creativity and joy and harmony and radiant health that are our true nature. We give thanks knowing that we are part of the awakening of humanity, and that we have a purpose for this lifetime. And we just take a moment now to allow the music to deepen our connection with this inner purpose and mission that we have for this life. The truth that we are. abiding in the inner silence of being, of eternal being, together in the silence. And from this silence, infinite possibilities of creativity and joy and freedom, of love and understanding and wisdom. May all beings be happy and at peace. May all beings be free. May we realize the original brightness of our minds and hearts. And may we continue working together to build a more enlightened society, a world that cares for everyone, a world that reflects the truth of the inner Christ presence, the love that understands that one life lives through us all. Through the power and through the presence of the infinite spirit of truth and love indwelling, we give thanks, knowing this is so, and so it is. I'd like to thank you all for joining together in our meditation time. I'd like to share a piece of original music now. This is a piece called Benediction of Light. And the idea is to just hold in our heart a blessing and send it out into our community, into our world, that we may, in our heart and in the core of our being, be a healing, radiating center of peace and harmony for the whole planet. And I think that's really the unity message. So again, allow the music to take you on an inner journey. This is Benediction of Light. Enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And wow, it's great to see a full house here. Thanks, everyone, for your efforts. And let's give a big hand to Madeline also for the paintings. And she travels around, and see, hi to her here. Thank you. Thanks so much. So I'd like to talk a little bit about our intuition, our inner wisdom, our inner genius. And I think this is something that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the founders of Unity, emphasized a lot. You know, the whole idea, really, in many traditions, that you would need to have somebody, an intermediary between us and the divine. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore really questioned that. And Charles is kind of famous for saying, I think I like to go straight to headquarters. You know, that idea. Now, we can all go straight to headquarters. For him, it was kind of easy. That meant, well, I'll just ask Myrtle and see what she thinks. And I can just ask Madeline. But for the rest of us, but the idea is really a very important idea that every one of us has what we can refer to as an inner guidance system. And this inner guidance system is available to us. It's not just our rational mind. It's a deeper connection with our understanding of our true purpose and mission and ministry in this life, and also an understanding of what we are at a deeper level, that we're not merely a physical body that was born and will die, and that's the end of it, which is what we're told in our society pretty much, you know, in the materialism of our culture, which is really harmful, I think, to spirituality. So the whole idea is that we have an inner guidance system that we can connect with and that can guide us to live our unique life. It doesn't mean that our life will just be easy all the time, everything will just go perfectly, but it does mean that it'll be our life. It won't be somebody else's. And that, I think, opens the doorway to a deeper experience of joy, so that even in the difficult times underlying those, there's a feeling of joy that we have, and gratitude that we have another day, another opportunity to learn and grow and to contribute to this beautiful earth and the community of human beings, and to contribute the best we can to be part of the solution to the difficulties that are here, instead of just merely being part of the problem. So the underlying idea, though, in all of this really comes back to what is it that we are and how are we guided in our life. So, for example, if we go to the beach and we see some footprints in the sand, we don't normally go up to the footprints and say, "Good morning, George. How are you doing this morning?" We know that the footprints are just footprints. Somebody else, you can't see them, left those footprints. This right now is a footprint waving. Right, we cannot see the being. We think we see the beings, right? We see footprints. We see a manifestation of infinite and eternal consciousness. So when we have this delusion that what I am is an object that was born and will die, a thing, then that, in the Buddhist tradition, that's called samsara, which basically means ignorance of our true nature, thinking that we're just a thing. And basically the samsara means suffering, because no matter what happens, I could lose it, whatever I get. And so we end up being in a situation where we're trying to manipulate the world all the time, other people and ourselves, and try to put on a good mask and everybody like us and all these things. And it's just really suffering, because it's based on not understanding our true nature and identifying with an object rather than the source that we are, which is not physical. It's spiritual and eternal. And so the spiritual path in many ways is really about having a regular, I think anyway, a regular practice, spiritual practice that helps us to reconnect with our true nature. So how many of you have a regular spiritual practice of some kind? I think it's really good. Great, lots of hands. I highly recommend taking some time out every day in the morning or in the evening or both, and returning as best you can to the silence of our true nature. We have a tendency, as soon as we wake up, we're just bombarded with input and things, and we're often running, and our mind is just going, all the time, busy. And so if we can connect with inner silence and just with the beauty of nature, with the beauty of our own true nature, then gradually we'll begin to get glimpses of this internal guidance system. And the thing to also understand is that as we go through our life, right, as the days and weeks and months and years go by, we're all doing something, right? We're being guided. Here we are. We're doing something. What is guiding us, actually, right? What is it that's actually having us do what we decide to do? Go to work, do this and that, whatever. Just have our relations. What we're going to say from moment to moment. It's really one of two things. it's either the cultural program or it's our internal guidance system, right? And the thing is, in our society, the cultural program is very powerful. As soon as we're born, we're like a little sponge. You know, we soak up everything. You know, their food becomes my food. Their attitudes become my attitudes. Their language becomes my language. You know, that's called socialization. It's an important process. It's how we become humans. But the problem is, if that's all we are, if we're just believing everything that we hear in the media and hear from the ministers, you know, not the unity ministers, but those other ministers, you know, you know, it's all, you know, we just take all this in, then we're basically become somewhat robotic. We're just kind of saying what we're supposed to say to get along, to have people like us, and so we make money, so we get, the idea is that really, we want to be well-adjusted, we want to get along, we want to be like everybody else, but at a certain point we realize, you know, we need to, in a sense, be pioneers. We need to kind of help create something a little more at a higher vibratory level somehow, more peace, harmony, freedom, awareness, and so forth. So that's where we start having a spiritual yearning. And so even if we could be still following the cultural program, going to church every Sunday and so forth, but once we begin to connect with our inner wisdom, then our actions follow from this deeper awareness that what we are is here to contribute, to live, to grow, and to bless others. And we're less concerned with trying to get something and control, and to actually be a radiating center. And so I think Charles and Myrtle Fillmore is so wonderful, because Madeline and I have had the opportunity to connect more and more deeply with their teachings over many years. I discovered the Unity teachings way back in 74, something like that. And I was from New England, so we didn't have Unity up there back when I was a kid. But I was in Atlanta at that point, and there was a Unity church there, and I discovered it, and it was very interesting. And I think the great blessing for us, actually, we've been able to go to Unity churches now. We came to this church way back when Reverend Jerry was here, and many times over the years. We've been going to Unity churches now for nearly 40 years, giving talks and workshops and things. Probably been to more Unity churches than any human in history, actually. That's all we did. We lived in an RV for 17 years, and we just every Sunday, and now half the year we're on the road, going to Unity churches. I just love this movement because it's so healthy, really. I mean, the underlying foundation of Unity is based on inclusiveness, including everyone is welcome, but also including the wisdom traditions of our earth, that are the human heritage, especially, of course, Christianity and the beauty of Jesus' teachings, but seeing that there's wisdom in all the world's traditions and opening to that. But then also saying, but it's up to us to actually live this and to create a community that encourages that. I mean, if we come to this earth and contribute to such a community, that's a great thing. That's a great way to spend a human lifetime, to contribute to a teaching that actually brings the power back to us to create a world that's in harmony with our true nature, with love and freedom, joy and peace and health and so forth. So I want to thank all of you for finding your way through this door and staying with it, and contributing to this. And I'd like to close maybe with just a little bit about my own background, how I got into this, and Madeline, because I think it's indicative and very probably similar to all of us. I mean, all of us, to find our way through the door and be here, we had to question official narratives in our society and begin to turn within and begin to connect with the love that is our true nature. And for me, I remember I was born and raised in Concord, Massachusetts, actually back in the 1950s. And I remember it was kind of a neat place because there was a lot of history in Concord. It was where the Revolutionary War started. Remember back in 1775, hardly a man is now alive that remembers the famous day and year of the midnight ride of Paul Revere. And by the rude bridge that arched the flood, their flag to April's breeze unfurled. Here once the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world. That was so every April 19th, which was when it was called Patriots Day back there. My father would get dressed up in his Minuteman outfit and get the gun off the wall, and we'd all go back to the Old North Bridge. We'd go down there and we would reenact the war, the first battle, and celebrate freedom and revolution. And and I think it's really a beautiful thing to understand that we have the power to create a society of equality and freedom and justice and abundance? We can, absolutely. And it's important for us to understand that. And what was interesting in Concord was that it also had, in the next century, in the 1800s, another somewhat more spiritual revolution that was called the Transcendentalist movement. You remember the Transcendentalists? So I was born in Emerson Hospital, learned to swim in Walden Pond, went to Thoreau School and Alcott School, you know. And so the Transcendentalists were very interesting. I didn't really understand them until I went away to college and started reading. But they were the first ones, in many ways, to bring teachings from the non-Western traditions into the United States. Thoreau, back in 1840s, had the largest library in the whole North America of books on Taoism and Buddhism and Vedanta and yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, all these things. And so they were seeing the connections between these ancient wisdom traditions from the East and so forth with what Jesus was saying and the wisdom traditions of the West. And so that kind of fertilized and brought in, I think, a lot of very helpful ideas and that are part of the unity movement, because Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were great students of Emerson and of the Transcendentalists and understanding spiritual healing and so forth. And this idea, for example, from the Buddhist tradition of God as an infinite mind that we can learn to connect with, or God from the Taoist tradition as a universal principle that we can live in harmony with, instead of always fighting, because you're never going to win. Or from the Hindu tradition, the idea of God as equally female as male, right? That idea. All these ideas were kind of breathing new life into spirituality in the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so for me as a kid growing up, and I wasn't really aware of those things, but when I went away to college in Maine in the early 1970s, I started reading these things. And it led me to a book that some of you may have heard, written by a guy named Richard Buck from Canada, I think it was in the late 1800s he wrote it. It's called Cosmic Consciousness. And the book basically, the basic idea is that pretty much everybody is at a state, what he called self-consciousness. We basically care about ourselves and our family, maybe the people we love, our tribe, that kind of thing. But he said certain rare people, individuals, had raised their awareness to a higher level where they not only did they care, they really kind of lost that self-centered caring, and they cared about everyone. They just loved everyone equally. And they had this moral elevation and intellectual illumination and a spiritual awareness and a loss of the fear of death and so forth. And he basically said that these great sages and saints through the history, people like Jesus and the Buddha and others, both men and women, that they were exemplars of the human potential, and basically that it is the destiny of every human being to attain cosmic consciousness. That's why we're here. That's our purpose. And so I remember reading this and thinking, wow, yes, like you, yes. And so I remember going back home on the breaks to my parents and saying, Mom, Dad, you know, we're not just here to make money and try all that. You know, we're here to attain cosmic consciousness. And my father said, you know, this education's costing me quite a lot of money, actually. And how's that going to help you get ahead in the world? But my father actually, he somewhat understood. He taught me to play the piano, after all, you know. And my mother was an artist, so I married an artist, of course. And but the beautiful thing for me was that my brother Ed, my younger brother Ed, when I talked to him about these ideas of cosmic consciousness, he said, "Yes, that's what we got to do. Yeah, let's do it. Let's attain cosmic consciousness. All right." What do we do? So we thought about it long and hard, and then we knew exactly what to do. It's obvious, actually. If you want to attain cosmic consciousness, it's 1975. Go to California. So we decided that's what we would do, and I remember talking to my parents about it, and my father, bless his heart, he really, and my mother both, they supported us. They said, all right, if that's what you want to do. My father even quoted Thoreau. He said, every man must march to the beat of the drum that he hears, and if that's what you're hearing, then... So I remember we walked down the driveway of our house, and each one had a little backpack and some fresh baked cookies from my mother, and we started walking west, and we didn't have any money, and we were just going to do it like the sadhus of India, just walking and meditating, and we would be taken care of by the universe somehow. And we worked our way west. And after several weeks, we had gotten as far as Buffalo. And in Buffalo, it was freezing. It was like in October. And I thought, I have a bachelor's degree from a pretty good school. It's October. We're in Buffalo. I think we better head south. So then we just started walking south. And we would walk about 20 miles a day, every day, down these little tiny backcountry roads, down through upstate New York, Pennsylvania, all the way across Pennsylvania, West Virginia, across West Virginia. That was then they said, boys, you're in the Bible Belt. And I didn't know what that meant, but I found out pretty quickly. They tried to save you every night, it was like, and it was quite amazing because somehow we would always manage to get some food somehow and walk on and meditate. And we were really doing on an inner path. We didn't really worry too much about we thought this is all kind of an illusion. We want to attain enlightenment. So we eventually got down into Tennessee, Kentucky, and then across Appalachia. That was really something. And then we ended up getting into Tennessee, and then down through Tennessee, and we ended up eventually at a place called The Farm. And The Farm in 1975 was the largest hippie commune in the world, south of Nashville. And there was about 900 people living there, and they were pretty much all from California. So here they are, and we met them here, halfway across. And so anyway, that was a really interesting place because they were doing meditation, and they were vegetarian. So I actually became a vegetarian, haven't eaten meat since 1975. And but the thing I want to mention a couple of things. One is on that walk, because that walk really kind of set the trajectory of my life. In a sense, I felt like in a way I left the world, and I still haven't come back. I mean, there's a sense, we're all in the world, but to be in the world but not of the world, to realize that we're just here for a few short decades. They had an interview with the oldest living human being, I think a 119-year-old woman from Japan. And they said, what's it like being 119 years old? And she said, it just goes by so fast. And that's the truth. It goes by quickly. I can't believe I'm in my 70s. I mean, just the other day I was in my 20s, So the whole idea is that life goes by quickly. So every day is precious. Every day is a precious opportunity to somehow develop our capacities, to increase and make progress in our spiritual path. That's the greatest gift we can give to others, is to unfold our potential, our inner wisdom. So I remember on that walk with my brother, we didn't have any reason in the outer world to be happy, in a sense, right? We didn't have any security. We didn't have any money. We weren't doing what we're supposed to do. Nobody thought it was a good idea, really. And yet I remember as I was walking on some little road in West Virginia somewhere, I had these waves of joy just washing over me. I was so happy. And I think it was because I was living my life. And I think that's a key, because if we're living our life, there'll be challenges, there'll be difficulties, all kinds of things, but underlying everything, there's this bubbling spring of joy. It's our true nature. Our true nature is a bubbling spring of joy, and it doesn't need any reasons in the outer world. I don't need to get some better car or better partner or have people say they like me. It's always present. That is always there. It's just our mind is so busy very often thinking about what I should have done, or what I wish he would have done, or what if she would have done, then I would have done, or and so we kind of are always going up there, and we keep this suppressed, this joy. But if we can just relax and connect with that, and then let that inner joy be present and guide us in our life, it's our inner wisdom in many ways to connect with that. And when we create a community that's based on understanding our true nature and connecting with the inner joy that is our true nature, then we're creating a community that is helping to bring the ancient wisdom teachings into our world in a relevant, meaningful way. And that is really important in these days, because right now in our society, there are powerful forces at work to destroy authentic spirituality. There are powerful forces within government, corporations, and media, everywhere, that want us to be divided, to be self-centered, to be afraid of all kinds of things. And all of that stuff erodes our connection with our true nature, with our wisdom, and with the joy that is our true nature. So to take time every day to proactively reconnect with our connection with the divine, infinite source that we are, and live each day from that place. And then to create a community of people who are committed to doing that individually, that is so important, because that is what brings the wisdom teachings, the ancient wisdom teachings, into flowering, into fruition in our time today when they're under such an attack. And to keep it going, to keep the wisdom going, so that our children and grandchildren will have a world where peace and freedom and justice and equality and harmony and health are actually possible. And they are possible. They are our true nature. It's just the delusion is very strong right now. So it's really fantastic that you're keeping this going, that each one of you in your own personal lives makes the effort to question all the official narratives that come through the media and all these other places, and reconnect with the inner guidance system that brings whatever is needed for today. So I'll just maybe close with this. One of the things that people say, well, how did you didn't have any money. How did it actually work? You know, and the funny thing is, we just let every day take care of itself. That was the kind of a thing, because we were young. I was only 22. He was 20. But I remember one time they gave us a donation at this church in Kentucky for $30, because he said, can you talk to our Sunday school kids? And we said to the Sunday school kids, you know what it says in the Bible? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else shall be added unto you. It's true. Just go for the spiritual dimension. That's the most important thing. And then they said, they gave us $30. And then we walked, and back then, in 1975, that was kind of a lot, you know. So I remember we stopped and had lunch at a little restaurant, and then, for two people back then, lunch was like $12 maybe at the most. And so I remember giving the lady an $18 tip, and we just walked on. The whole idea was just let every day take care of itself. And there's a great wisdom in that, I think, to just live each day and be, as best we can, an agent of kindness and caring and helpfulness for each other. And when we create a community that's doing that and support that community, then we'll find our spirituality and wisdom connecting. And so I'll just close with this final thought. In the Buddhist tradition, there are these what are called the three jewels. And the three jewels are the three most essential parts of the whole tradition. So one is Buddha. What's Buddha? Buddha basically is our enlightened eternal nature. So we would call it in unity the Christ, what our true nature that's eternal and connected always with the divine source that we are. Dharma means the teachings that help us to remember that and to achieve our awakening to the Buddha nature. And then the third jewel is called the Sangha. Does anyone know the Sangha? The Sangha is the community of people who are dedicated and persistent in understanding the teachings and unfolding the highest nature within themselves. And the Buddha said something interesting. He said, without the Sangha, the community, there will be no Dharma, no teachings, and there'll be no Buddha. So the Sangha is the most important of all the jewels, the community. So when we dedicate ourselves to helping each other, to helping strengthen the community of wisdom, by doing the best we can to live that ourselves, that's the best gift we can give to the world. So to come to this earth and to do our best to bring this to the world, I think is so admirable. So I want to thank all of you for the efforts you're making. No effort you ever made has ever lost. And together, we are building a world of greater wisdom and compassion for all living beings. So thank you very much, everyone, for your kind attention. And I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Madeline. Madeline and I have been now married 31 years. I would say the smartest thing I ever did was marrying Madeline. Well, let's have a hand for Madeline. Thank you, Madeline. Yeah. So I'll just close with a short piece of music. This is a piece I wrote. I call it From Silence, because really I think the silence has the possibility to reconnect us with so much of our true nature, the melody, the rhythm, the harmony that we are ourselves. So enjoy. This is From Silence.
Thank you so much. You know, each of our speakers come and bring a different energy. And I want to just say that your music and your message was so calming and so inspirational. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And now we'll just do a few of our thanks and announcements. Actually, we're going to have a workshop, and he's going to take a few minutes to speak on the workshop that he's going to have right after the service.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just very briefly, right after the service, we'll be right here, and the workshop is called Opening the Intuitive Gate, the Keys to Developing Your Inner Wisdom. And Madeline and I will be sharing some techniques of meditation and imagery along with music and art to help each one who's here connect with your own unique way of accessing your intuition. Albert Schweitzer said the key to happiness is good health and a short memory. So if you can come into this present moment and connect with our inner wisdom and join us for that. Runs about 2 hours, so please join us if you can. Thank you very much. Thanks. See you then.
Yes, we want to just reach out to anyone that would like to share their time, treasures, and talents with any volunteerisms. We have this Wednesday at 9:30 our Pack-a-Sack, which we have, as I say, we pack once a month, but we give every week. So it just gives a time to be able to give out, give back, come. We just line up and pack it for just an hour or two, and it goes a long way. So thank you. If you'd like to talk to Laura, raise your hand. There you go. Afterwards, if you'd like to find out more information. We have a new members class Karen Offsinger is going to be giving online Wednesday at 6:30. So if you're interested at all, that's her email at Karen, or talk to any of the church members and RSVP to get the meeting link. So again, if you'd like to become a member, or you'd like just to go over the 5 principles of unity again, it's a good refresher. Thursday morning, we have Sarah. Raise your hand, Sarah. Yay. She has a wonderful meditation and healing circle every Thursday morning, 9:30. So it is a wonderful experience. Excuse me, let's say 10:30. Like, I'm onto the time change still. I'm sorry. Okay. 10:30. Make sure you come at 10:30, not 9:30. But yeah, please do come and share that if you can. And then I will actually be doing Crystal Bowl meditation this Thursday at 6:30. So feel free to come for the meditation. Next Sunday, we have the power of precision, being specific with your prayers and intentions. And that's by our guest speaker, Jeremy McDonald. He's come to us before, so feel free to come back and see him on the 16th at 10:30. And then he'll be having a workshop afterwards on the nature of law and wisdom, practical life application workshops. So it'll be right after the service. We do have, as we spoke about volunteerism, even though you can go this Wednesday at 9:30 for our Pack-a-Sack. When we say time, treasure, and talents, each of you do have a little bit to give. Everyone's a little bit different. And it could be simple as helping to usher. It can be helping out with hospitality. There's multiple things to make our community run. So feel free to talk to one of our church members or chaplains or anyone on the board, and we'll certainly, there's sign up. Rita's not there. Rita's there. Sign up, and you can speak with her, or there's a sign up sheet that there will be plenty of avenues for that. Our inspiration station, the Learning Center, Books and Gifts. And I had a little announcement, got everyone engaged to be able to have a name. It is right there. It's in our multi-factor room, which is our bookstore children's room. But as you exit to the left, go in and take a peep at it. There could be a book that calls you, or a little gift that you want to buy and share. So we're really asking people to encourage you to stop in and see that. Thank you to our volunteers, everyone that made this work this Sunday to come in. I would name every single one of them, but it would go on and on. But I want to thank you also for showing up, just taking the time and showing up. As you said earlier about our community and the importance of our community, guys, it's us. It's this collective energy that we brought in today. It's so important. So thank you for showing up. And now we'll prepare for our gifts as the ushers will come forward. We're going to have another beautiful opportunity to hear your music. We're going to go ahead and start with our affirmation before he starts playing. and together we'll say, I give thanks for all my blessings. I share my gifts freely, and I receive gratefully. I am in the flow of the abundant life.
Okay, so this is a piece of original music called Around the World. Enjoy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And at this time, we just want to open our hearts with gratitude. And I have to mention, for those who may have been part of Unity when we were at Pine Hill and been with us for a long time, one person that we have been truly grateful for and blessed with was Bonnie McCormack. And so many gifts, so many of us were blessed with her serving as a prayer chaplain. And I don't know if the news got around, but she made her transition. And as Mr. Tuttle said, we're all here for a time, and every decade and everything we do is precious, and she served us well. So I just want to make the announcement on March 29th, her husband will be holding a memorial service, memorial gathering at Sand Pebble Clubhouse. And this will be one last laugh for Bunny. And those of us who knew Bunny, laughter was really important and really opened up her heart and our hearts. So there is a flyer in the cafe. And if we can make our RSVP, also on Facebook, if you look for Mike McCormack, there's the official announcement with the email. And please, we'd just like to be out and just represent our church, our community, as best as we can and support the family. Any other details you need, just reach out to myself or any of the members of the church or the board. So at this time, we just want to be grateful for these physical gifts, physical representation, material representation that helps us to do this work that we're here to do. And as we're reminded, seek ye first the kingdom, and all other things will be added. And we just want to hold that space for gratitude. And where there is no feeling of lack, we know that all our needs are met and everything we need is provided. And we go forth to do the work for which we have been called, and we say, thank you, God.
And now we'll close with the peace song. Stand for the peace song. Words are up here. now we'll have the prayer of protection. The light of God surround us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am present. Wherever we are, God is, and I am divine. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great week.